And then when I crossed the finish line, I asked what was my time, and then they said your time was 11:43, 52 seconds, and I said I just set the world record. What? My first thing I learned how to do when I was 2 years old was swimming, and I didn't start walking or talking till I was like 6-ish years old. High school was tough because nobody really wanted to hang out with me, or anybody would just push me and bully me.
Hi everyone, I can't quite believe how quickly the weeks are going, but we are back for another episode of the Toughest Finish Line podcast with me, Jen Doan. I wanted to start off by saying a huge thank you for all the lovely comments about our last episode with Amy Edwards. Amy spoke so openly about her journey through suicide, and I'm so pleased that so many people have found it to be useful. Our next guest is yet another true inspiration, speaking to us after just achieving something truly incredible. I hope you enjoy it. So I am super excited to introduce to you a lady who completed a Guinness World Record just the weekend just past. Marlynne Stritzman, welcome to the Toughest Finish Line podcast. Congratulations. How are you feeling after a Guinness World Record?
I don't know. It's blown my mind. I can't believe I did it by an hour. It's just crazy, and it's the best birthday present ever, too.
I know, it was on your birthday as well. So shall we start there with what was the Guinness World Record that you achieved?
Being the fastest autistic female.
At a what distance?
A full Ironman.
The fastest autistic female. And not only that, what time did you do it in?
11 hours and 43 minutes and 52 seconds.
I mean, that time is just incredible. Huge, huge congratulations to you. And you've got somebody very special sat next to you now. Do you want to introduce him onto the podcast as well?
This is my daddy. He is my number one person in the whole entire world. He's always there for me, and he's my big fan.
Oh,
Gotta
welcome
be
to
your
the
biggest fan, right?
podcast.
Well, thank you. Yeah, she raced in the PCID division. That's what the world record is, the fastest female to ever complete a full Ironman in the PCID division.
Yeah. So, Todd, you must be so proud of your little girl. How did it feel watching her cross that finish line?
She never ceases to amaze me. I can go back 4 years ago when she told me she wanted to, start, running like her brother did. And she'd get up and just go run 10 miles, 15 miles. I'm not ready for a marathon, but yet she's going out running 22 miles. And I'd follow her on my bike and I'd go, you're ready for a marathon. You can do this. So finally she did the Atlanta Marathon, I think, in 23. And her time was like, 4 hours and 54 minutes in her first marathon.
Now I'm under 4 hours.
Wow.
Now she qualified for the Boston Marathon this year and the Chicago Marathon. We got bids for both those this year.
Wow.
Yes.
In the,
Amazing.
In a T20
in a
category.
T20 category where for, intellectually disabled. It's, I never would have thought, because she didn't bloom until, she's always been a late bloomer. And she didn't really start blooming into an athlete until after high school.
It's incredible, your story, and I'm so excited to share it on the podcast. And I can see, Todd, how proud you are of your little girl, how amazing she's done. And to have you on the podcast just days after you've got that Guinness World Record is very exciting. I hope you are proud of yourself, Marlynne.
It's all about timing, yeah.
It is all about timing.
I'm very proud of myself for dealing what I had to deal with.
Yes, and we will come on to that because your story is super inspiring to so many people. Because you raced in the PCID category, which is the physically challenged intellectual disability category, and you mentioned that you have a diagnosis of autism. Shall we just talk about autism? And because people have a bit of knowledge about what autism is, but what are the types of things, Marlynne, that autism helps you with, but also what are the challenges that autism brings you?
So I don't just have autism, I have dyslexia too. So my autism affects me with being around a lot of people, like noise and crowds. If I'm around too many people, I get overwhelmed and ready to like leave and separate myself. Um, of what affects with me my dyslexia is don't know my left and right sometimes. So I have two different color tapes on my bike, one size orange and one size blue. So when somebody's guiding me, they say, okay, stay on your blue side or stay on your orange side, because that helps me more in don't knowing my left and rights.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the things that you're describing are, being in a crowd and yet you're racing in an Ironman, which is
And
lots of
I hear
people,
it, "Hey!"
lots of crowds. And so you overcome those challenges so much. And that just shows how strong you are as an athlete. And I mean, you've kind of touched on it, Todd, that, she struggled a lot with lots of areas growing up. And you were delayed with your walking and you didn't talk until quite late, is that right?
My first thing I learned how to do when I was 2 years old was swimming. Swimming was the first thing my parents or my dad teach me how to do, and I didn't start walking or talking till I was like 6-ish years old.
I remember buying a book that talked about she was born 6 weeks early.
Right.
And I bought a book about delayed talking kids, and we were like trying to figure out what's going on here. And 'cause she was my third child, and with autism you mentioned, nobody really. I don't know if there's really a set definition like this is it. She doesn't read or write very well,
No.
and noises affect her. But I think there's such a broad spectrum of the stuff anymore. Nobody, I don't know that anybody really come out and said, "Oh, your kid's autistic," but we just sort of figured, obviously there's something going on here.
Right.
And then I don't know, from like probably about 6 years old to 12, I didn't really see her. I mean, she was with her mother, and then when her mother got killed, I ended up with custody of her.
Gosh, okay. Right. So
Yeah.
there's a big chunk of life where you weren't talking, you weren't walking, definitely not
Mm-mm.
running, but
No.
you were a bit of a swimmer. And so went and swimming was your strong point, and even from that early age you were in the pool and that was your passion, was it?
Yeah, swimming was my home. My parents took me to like the Currar Rec Center to take swimming lessons, and they were shocked I was able to jump off the diving board into the water and float back up out like sinking down to the bottom. And I was on the news for that.
Yeah, she could pass all, like they have these, swim lessons at the YMCA.
Right.
And I think you start off as like you're a seal, then you're a walrus, then you're a whale or something like that. And at 3 years old, she had passed all three stages, and she still couldn't walk. But you threw her in the pool, and she wasn't afraid, fearless. She just jumped off the diving board and boom. So they had a big thing on the news, and they picked her to talk about how great their swim lessons are at Clearwater YMCA.
Mhm.
Amazing. And that swim love has clearly kept going. And I read an article the other day about you where there was a comment that was something about that as a young child you were watching the Olympics. And
Yes.
is it right that you cried when your dad turned it off?
Yes. I used to every year when the Olympics were going on, the swimming part, I will just sit there and just watch it. And then when the commercial goes on, I was like,
she, would- she wouldn't talk, but when the commercial went off, we just noticed she was just like glued to the TV watching the swimmers. And whenever we took her out of the pool, she'd scream because she wanted to go back in the pool. She didn't like being taken out of the pool.
And so is that how you earned your nickname of the fish?
yeah. So my nickname is the fish is because my Special Olympics swimming coach, like, didn't know how to say my name right, and he was like, "You're a very strong swimmer. Your nickname's just gonna be the fish because you love swimming the longer distance and nobody else swims them." So he was always like the board counters for me during the 800 and 1500, and then he came up with the nickname saying, "You're the fish," because I always have to be your little board counter.
Did you read that bio I sent you about how she got her name?
Yes.
Marlynne,
Well,
yeah.
do you want to share that with everybody, Todd?
Well, I since she was born 6 weeks early, we had discussed the name Marlynne, like Marlon Brando, if it was going to be a boy. And when she came out as a girl, now we had to think of a girl's name because obviously Marlon Brando doesn't fit for a girl.
Yeah.
And the doctor in the emergency room was Dr. Marlon, Marlon.
No way.
And I'm like, this is this has got to be a sign. I'm thinking, I kept shoving the, birth certificate. You got to name this kid. You got to name this kid. So after 2 days, look, you got to have a name for this kid by this evening for the birth certificate. So I started thinking about it, and I said, Marlynne, because, Lynn's a girl's name, and they put the Mar in front. So now you got Martin, even though everybody wants to call her Marianne or Marilyn.
Marie.
Yeah, they never can say her name right.
No,
But she used to say Marlin like the fish,
Mine
and
like the
that's
fish.
and then we were at Bayfront Medical Center in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the incubator, and you're spending all day in the incubator room, seeing your kid that's about this big around, with tubes stuck everywhere. And I walked outside to get some fresh air in the evening. It was November 17th she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And the neon light from Bayfront Medical, so comes on. It says, I see it light up Bay. So I said, that's her name, Marlon Bay. And I literally was thinking on my feet that's how she got her name.
Like, when people ask me, how did you get your name? I said, so my middle name's Bay, so like Bay of the Water. And I just told people, like, I, I guess my name's meant to be a fish.
It's just funny how all those things lined up, that.
I was going to
And
say it was clearly meant to be. Even before you were born, you were destined to be a swimmer there, Marlynne.
Well, you're supposed just to be in Marlon before you even born. I had the boy's name already picked out. I mean,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, my favorite Disney movie is Finding Nemo, and my bike's name is Mimo, so I
named her bike.
Yep. Yeah,
so
you've got to name your bike. You definitely have to name your bike.
so,
I'm with you
yeah,
on that one, Marlynne.
I love the Finding Nemo movie, so, yeah.
It was meant to be. And we'll come on to talking a bit more about the swim events that you've done. But just going back to growing up, because obviously you've mentioned you were late with talking and with walking and things, but how was school life for you, Marlynne?
School life was tough because people didn't really they would just push me away, but I know one thing is my, brother, he always had me hang out with him and his friends, and I looked up to him. He was always me and him always played video games together and hang out, so he was my role model growing up. High school was tough because nobody really wanted to hang out with me or anybody was just pushing me and bullying me, but my high school soccer coach, said, "I'm gonna be there for her. I'm gonna make sure she has a chance to be on a high school team and all that. I'm always there for her and stuff."
And we often have spoken on this podcast about it. Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you and give you that motivation and just that little bit of help to get you started. And then you can go no end of distance. And so it sounds like that PE teacher was one of the people in your life who set you up.
Yes, she was like an angel.
I call those people angels in your life. There's been a few of them that have opened doors that, sometimes she walked through them, sometimes I had to push her, but,
Mhm.
it's worked out, to where we are today, where she's at mainly. But
Yeah.
For this week's episode, we have partnered with Enator because every runner we speak to has one thing in common. resilience to help you cross that finish line. Injuries, setbacks, comebacks, it takes more than mileage to stay in the game. Enator's performance insoles use PX1 technology to absorb shock, return energy, and help you recover stronger. They're trusted by elite athletes and built for runners who don't back down. I've been wearing Enator insoles throughout my training, and they have hugely helped to reduce impact during running and protect me from injury. Right now, you can get 15% off with the code ToughestFinishLine at enator.com. Back your body, keep showing up, endure more with Enator. Really like that term of an angel, and having just that one or two angels is all you need to blossom into something incredible. And so yes, growing up, you say kind of how tough it was in terms of bullying, and I guess education and learning was quite tricky for you.
Yes, like, it was very hard to, like, my teachers will try to find a way to get me to learn how to read, and I just couldn't understand it. So, like, reading affected me very much through school. It was very tough. So, but I did achieve a lot with, like, numbers, and I was very good with, like, money and all that, so that's something I achieved with, and I achieved it with, like, art, but when it comes to, like, reading or anything, it affect me very much.
Yeah.
I always have to ask people, "Can you read this to me? Can you help me?" So, like, if I go out to eat with somebody and they don't know how I can't read, I will say, "Hey, I need some help." And they are like, "Oh, you need help?" And I said,
A
"Yeah."
little bit.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, it seems like you've got a great support network around you now, helping you out, which is brilliant. And so, obviously, swimming you did growing up, but you mentioned football there. Was it sport in general that you found was a real kind of interest for you growing up?
My brothers and sister played soccer when I was growing up, and my 7th year in middle school, I said, "I'm gonna go try out for the soccer team."
Right.
And so my 7th grade soccer coach said she was the only athlete to try her hardest to make through the tryouts and all that. And he put me on the team to play the 5th quarter, where you only get like 5 minutes of playing time after the game is over.
Right.
And he called me and he said, "She really isn't that good," to put her on the team, but he goes, "Well, I had him go run a mile, and she lapped everybody because she was trying so hard to make the team." So I could not put her on the team just by her effort. So therefore, he goes, just get telling you, she won't play that much except when they do the 5th quarter when they put everybody didn't get to play in." But he goes, "I definitely put her on the team, and that's, that was a sign, I guess, right there as far as her determination and a lot of stuff."
Absolutely. It seems like you have that resilience just embedded from you from an early age to keep you moving forwards. And no matter what you put your mind to, Marlon, it seems like you go and achieve it no matter what comes your way. And so, can you describe what it is about swimming that you love so much?
Um, the reason I like swimming so much is because I feel like I'm at home, and I feel like I'm one of the fish since it's like my name, and I just feel like it's an incredible thing to do. So that's like my home.
Yeah. And your safe place, maybe.
Yes, it's my safe place. Like, I'm hoping to go swimming tomorrow, maybe.
We had a house on the Intercoastal Waterway, and we had a slide that would go down. Oh, start off when she was 3, we'd put a life vest on her and just push her down the slide. She loved it, so, we got to the point where I knew she could swim, so I
Mhm.
didn't put a life vest on her like all the other kids. We just, she was 3 years old going down that slide, and, her brothers and sisters were out there with her or whatever, but, yeah, they just
I remember one time, when I was younger, I was in the pool and my dad's just working, and then he just like keeping an eye on me, but and one time he heard me say, "Snake?"
She couldn't talk, but there was a snake in the pool.
Oh, wow.
And she comes running up the stairs, and I go look down there, and there's a black snake in the pool. So when she got scared and saw a snake in the pool with her, she knew how to say that word.
Well, thank goodness you did. I mean, did you just keep swimming with the snake, or did you jump out?
No, she jumped out and came and
Good.
got me, and like I looked down there, there was a black snake in the we had an above, a pool at the house, and so I went out there and got the snake out of the pool.
Yep. So when he was working, I would get in the pool and he just keep a little eye on me. When I saw a snake, I said snake, and I had to go get him. So snake.
So, I mean, by the sounds of it, the snake didn't put you off swimming then.
Oh, yeah, she was. It scared her because she couldn't talk, like I said, and pronounce words, but she said snake, or I knew exactly what she said.
Wow,
It's
wow.
funny.
Yeah, when that real need is there, you can get your message across very well.
Yeah.
And so, did you do swim competitions from an early age? Can you remember your first swimming competition you did?
My first swimming competition was my senior year in high school. I really was not on a team until my senior year in high school. I always wanted to be on a team, but we never got me on a team until my senior year in high school.
I didn't get custody of her until her junior year, and her mom would never let her try out for the swim team.
Yes.
And they never would they didn't do Special Olympics swimming, so that all started once I got her, and she goes, "Can I go swim?" Yeah, sure, let's go, And she
Made
got a couple second and third places on the high school swim team. It was, her first year on the swim team.
and I was the most approved swimmer on the team, and a lot of the people on the swim team were like, "Oh, okay." And then the coach was very shocking about like, "Oh, she already knows how to swim," because they didn't know if I knew how to do freestyle or anything back then.
You tell someone they got somebody from the special education class wants to go over the swim team, you can just see, oh, great, she can swim already. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
So
you showed them.
yeah, so like I know they put me in the 100 freestyle, in the 200 freestyle, and like the 800s, and I know like my fastest 100 was like a minute 15.
Wow.
So yeah, so I did place at some events during my senior year in high school for swimming.
Incredible. I mean, that pace is very impressive, Marlynne. So well done. Yeah, so inspiring. And so when you finished high school, like, was it in your head that you wanted to do swimming and triathlon, or did you have something else that you wanted to do?
I stick to swimming for a while. Um, I didn't start doing I didn't do triathlon. I knew triathlon was a part of Special Olympics, but you couldn't pick both of them. You only could do one. So I only did swimming until 2019, and then I started doing triathlons like with in my area, but I didn't start doing them with Special Olympics till 22. Is that's when you can say you can do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Todd, you mentioned that you got Marlin into Special Olympics. And so can you just talk us through that for listeners who don't necessarily know what Special Olympics is and the process to get into it?
Well, she was in Special Olympics, in grade school, like when she was 6 or 7. But they never, she always did soccer and maybe track events. I think one year she did basketball. She's always, I think she did weightlifting and bowling. She always did different things.
Wow.
And, but they, like she said, they never really had a swim thing until you got into the older age groups.
I remember when I was 12 years old, I remember going to state games for track and field, and I did the 400 event and the 800 and got first place in both of the events, the county, area, and then states.
Wow.
Yeah, over at the Disney Wide World of Sports over in Orlando.
So a couple years I did that, and my director, Val, was my coach back then. And So she's the one who got me into like track and field. And then I did track and field in middle school too. And then I did it in high school. So that was like my events were like the 400 and 800 going up for track and field.
And see, then there's that area of like for 5th, 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, I really didn't see her hardly at all
Right.
No.
because she was with her mom.
Okay.
And then when I ended up with custody of her, then we started, you know, she's like, you want to swim or whatever. You know, best thing I ever did for her at that age was buy her an iPad
Okay.
because she may not be able to read, but if she knew the word that came off of a box, say there was something she wanted to learn about, she could type it in and hit return or hit enter, and all these articles or all these movies would come up, say, about how to do this.
Like, one thing I loved to do when I was younger was perder beads, and I still do them. Is I will find something that says the word perder beads on it, and I will type perder beads into YouTube, and then I will watch videos to make different designs of perder beads. And I gotten so good where my perder beads are actually pretty designed and very
People buy it, she sells them and stuff.
yeah.
But, you know, I didn't realize she was doing that until probably a couple years after I came in there one day, and she goes, looking at all these videos on perler beads, and I said, well, how'd you get that? And she goes, like, took the word off the box and typed it in. And I'm thinking, okay, wow, she's really adapted.
Hugely.
And we can blame that, credit that to the iPad, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say that buying that iPad clearly just opened up a lot of avenues for you and gave you a
It
whole
did.
communication system to be able to help you, which is brilliant. So going forward then, I mean, the Special Olympics has clearly helped a lot with your training and helped you to become the athlete that you are today. And you've done multiple races, Marlynne. Is there a race that stands out as one of your favorites or one that you're most proud of?
My most proud race right now for like Iron triathlon distance or Ironmans is Ironman Florida, 100%. I will have to say it's shocking how it went, how it felt when I crossed that finish line. I felt like I wanted to cry after I crossed that finish line. And my goal was to do 11:40, and this mad dream. Before this Ironman, I got hit by a car and, um, yeah,
She was on her bike and got hit by a car.
'cause
No.
I was, on my bike trying to take a turn, and I think the car didn't leave me enough space, and it was just, yeah,
And how long
yep,
before Florida was that?
Oh, gee, month and a half.
a month and a half. So
Were
my
you injured from it?
Oh, yeah, you still got your scar on your elbow?
yeah, I have all these scars here,
Gosh, yes.
and then I had a scar on my hands, and then, um a couple weeks before that, was at a marathon and I tripped over a thing,
Timing bad.
timing belt, and fell and bust open my hand. So I already had like scrapes and everything from
Oh,
them.
Marlynne.
And so it was like, okay.
We were very lucky that somebody could, her handlebar snapped that carbon fiber on her.
Yeah,
And
my Ventum, like I have the same bike that Adrian has. Me and her both got a Ventum when we did Kona that year.
And somebody, you know, we would have, if we had to order a new piece for that, would have never gotten it in time
Yeah.
for, but somebody knew a person down south of here that could fix it. And it was a heck of a lot cheaper fixing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the guy told us, he goes, this will be stronger than it was, you know, to begin with, which, I'm like, okay, I believe, you know, if you say so. But,
Now
So, yeah.
now we had to get a new tire because I missed a turn and I had to brake pretty hard to save myself during the
nice big flat spot where you can see the treads on the tire.
Oh, Marlynne. I mean, it just goes to show that even when the world is throwing things to stop you all your way, that a month before you get hit by a car and yet you still go on to complete a world record. It just
Yes.
shows don't give up, isn't it? You just
Yeah.
kept going.
Well, her timing was really good. When she got off that bike to go to the run, I was standing there, and she had this look on her face that I see sometimes in her.
I
And,
possess determination, and he was like,
and
"Oh, I'm scared of that face."
I said, "Oh, somebody's done made her mad," because you could just see it in her face. And I'm like, if her body doesn't give out, she's going to do very well on this run, which she set a PR Labor Day weekend in Atlanta for a qualifying run for Boston.
30 minutes off, yeah. Like, my fastest marathon time before the marathon I did was 4 hours and 22 minutes, and then I took 30 minutes off the time where I did 3 hours and 53 minutes, and I was like, that was my goal was 3 hours and 50 minutes, but if it's still 3 hours and 53 minutes, it still counts, my
Uh,
goal. So I was like,
Close.
yeah. So I was still shocked, like,
I
and the
mean,
funniest thing about that, I fell during the first mile too.
And then her Ironman marathon was only like 10, 15 minutes slower than the PR she set.
So
That's after the bike and everything else. So.
doing an hour and 10 minute swim and then 112-mile bike ride with for 6 hours and 8 minutes, and then doing a 4 hour marathon time, 0.8 minutes after, just still doing a 4 hour marathon is just shocking.
it's incredible, Marlynne. And I mean, to take 30 minutes, number one, off your personal best for a marathon is mind blowing. And then, as you say, to then only finish your marathon 15 minutes slower than your personal record after doing the swim and the bike is just
Yeah,
mind blowing.
that was truly, like you said, mind blowing on that. And I could just tell by the look on her face that something was up with her, because she was not happy.
I was this determination.
Somebody said they said hi to her, and she just like she's focused. I said, hell, she doesn't hardly want to say hi to me when she's.
You're in the zone.
She is.
And
Absolutely.
like back in the last year, I got lost in my training. I was doing a different training. Now I'm doing the Zone 2 training from TriDot, and it's working like incredible for me and have changed a lot for me.
So you use TriDot as your main coaching platform?
Yes, I have a coach from there,
Yeah.
and we do a phone call once a month, and we talk and says this is what going on. We think this is what we need to work on. Yeah, so it have changed a lot for me, and it makes a lot of sense to me because it gives me a scored, and it tells me if anything over 70 is 100, anything under 70 is not good. Try to have helped me out very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've become a coach with TriDot, and I
Yeah.
am a big believer
Oh,
of
have
it.
you?
I use it as my own coaching platform because it has made such an impact, and you can clearly see the impact that's had on you with those personal records. And so, what did it feel like running down that finish line in Florida? Did you know that you'd got the Guinness World Record?
No, I was like, "What was my time?" And then when I crossed the finish line, I asked what was my time, and then, they said, "Your time was 11:43, 52 seconds," and I said, "I just set the world record. What?" And I was hugging my guy, Daniel, and I just screamed in his arms, like,
And and she slowed down at mile 20 so he could catch up, so they could cross together, because she was afraid about being by herself and then getting DQ'd if she crossed by herself.
yeah. 'Cause I have heard is a world where if your guide's not with you, you can
Hmm.
get dequalified, so I slowed down by mile 20 for my guy Daniel can catch me and cross the finish line together. 'Cause if he dur during the run, he's like, "I can't catch her."
Oh yeah, he was a mile and a half behind her at the halfway point.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what you ate for breakfast that morning, Marlynne, but I mean, for your guide to
Tell
have
her
to
what you
be,
ate for breakfast that
what did
morning.
you eat for
What's
breakfast?
your nutrition?
I think the listeners need to
Okay.
know what is the best world record setting breakfast.
Oh, you'll love this.
So every time before a race, I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich and bananas. The bananas. That's every time I eat that before a race or anything like that. And then I will have a squeezable applesauce with electric slice before the swim starts.
So
So
an
that's
applesauce pouch type thing?
Yeah.
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 Squeezable ones.
And then on the bike, before I get on the bike, I have an orange squeezable applesauce, and then I take 8 dudes on the bike with gummy worms, Sour Patch Kids, Nerd Custers, candy,
Gummy worms.
gummy worms.
Sour gummy worms.
And then on the one, I take a goo every hour, but before I get on the one, I take an orange squeezable applesauce, and then this 5-hour energy thing to give me some energy before the one, and that just keeps me going.
I mean, whatever works for you, Marlynne, because it's
Yes.
clearly working very well. So
So
gummy
that's my
worms.
nutrition.
Yep.
So then she's packing little baggies of Nerd Crushers and sour gummy worms. I'm like, that's what I'm putting on my bike, for nutrition.
It
Yeah,
clearly works.
because, like, people have told me, like, "Oh, pack, like, hot dogs or something." I said, "I can't eat anything solid on the bike, so I had to find something, like, soft and wiggly." So I just say, "I love candy. Find some gummy worms or something like that to eat." I had to figure all that out on my own.
Yeah. And you found what works for you. And I think, everybody, you see the images of people strapping whole baguettes to their bikes and,
Yeah.
as you say, hot dogs and things. So it's whatever works for you. And it clearly has getting you that world record.
Yeah,
So
like, my dad said when I was younger, really, he said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want candy." He said, "I want candy."
I always sing that song to her.
So,
that's your theme song.
I was al
Marlynne wants
I was
candy.
always a candy person, so, you know what? I know what my candies are, so
Your stomach knows what it can tolerate and it gives you that energy for sure. And I wanted to touch on another one of your races that you did, which was the Odyssey Escape Swim.
yeah, it's a Alcatraz Escape Swim.
Yes. So the Alcatraz, for people who don't know, it's the Alcatraz prison swim, isn't it? So you
Yes,
swim from Alcatraz back to mainland San Francisco, which
yes.
you read the reviews of that race and the waters and the swell and the currents and the weather and even sharks. How was that race for you?
So, it was actually perfect weather, perfect conditions. My, best friend Casey came out there, she was my guide for Kona, and she came out to do Alcatraz with me, and, so it was we just had very good conditions, it was not so rough, like, the waves were not so low, and when she was flying up a couple days before, me and my dad went to the prison and took a little prison visit, and my dad took a picture of me behind the prison, and I said, I'm in prison. Somebody have to bail me out. And then Casey said, "Don't worry, I'll bail you out and we'll swim home."
I love it.
We were very blessed that the weather was perfect that day, sort of like it was here in Florida Ironman.
All right.
Couldn't have asked for better days. And they did it in how far? It was like 2.2 miles.
So it was 2 miles, just 2 miles, and
Yeah.
it took me 44 minutes. And my average pace was a minute 21.
Wow.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind after watching these people, there's 11 of them that took the Escape from Alcatraz challenge. No doubt in my mind that those inmates could do that, no problem. Yeah, no problem. They escaped. There's no doubt in my mind.
Because I have heard people say this swim can be very challenging, can be
Yeah.
very rough. I just like say, I want to do it. I want to do it. Come on, Dad, take me to do it.
2 years he kept bugging me to do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna plan on doing it.
And then I remember calling up Casey and saying, I'm doing Escape at Alcatraz. And she said, "You want me to come up here and do it?" And she just bought her own airplane ticket and bought her own ticket to do it and did it. I didn't ask her to do it. She just volunteered to do it.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for that because we she stayed, stayed in the hotel with us or whatever, but she did it all on her own. We already had the hotel bought, so she just came and stayed with us. But
And
you can
now
see I got my striped prison cap without the dress on.
Yes, I
now we're
noticed that.
already talking about doing the Gator House White House swim together, where I said, "I wanna do the Gator House White House swim together."
But Isla Morada and the Keys, Key West, you swim 8
Yeah,
miles.
like 8 miles, and she said, "I'll do it with you." And I said, "Okay." So,
That you have those people around you to support you, and it just seems like no matter how big the challenge, how tough that finish line is, it doesn't put you off. You keep going towards those races, which is
yes,
incredible. And just going back to your autism and your dyslexia, a lot of people, I think that that holds you back and that can stop you from doing things. But is there things that you think actually your autism and your dyslexia help you with in races?
focus. Um, I know it's actually easier to see, like, the colors of certain things. I Colors help me out a lot at races, so, like, if somebody's guiding me, I'll ask my guide to wear a different color cap so I can see it better.
Mhm.
Like, colors help me out a lot during the race, like, I have to see, like, a bright color to make sure it helps me out, so colors, like, bright pink, bright blue, bright orange, just not the stupid dark purple caps.
Well, you hear about people being so focused that they can't keep them out of the gym or you can't keep them out of the pool or whatever. I wonder sometimes if even these pro athletes, if they have a type of autism that just keeps them
Yeah, in
laser.
the zone.
'Cause that's what you see with her is, I can tell when her face just changes. Like, she'll go like from smiling to like you can just tell she's ready to go.
I'm just focused.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, during the Ironman 1, it was a point where I wanted to like walk a little bit because I was coughing. And I said, "Come on, Marn, just believe. You're almost there. Just believe it. Believe it." So, like, I like believe on my arm all the time, saying, "Just believe in yourself. You got this."
I love that. I'm gonna
So,
write that on my arm. I think the next race that I'm in, I'm gonna write that believe there because
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well,
Yeah.
it's got you a long way for sure.
yes.
I love it. And so yeah, that focus, and people do talk about how with autism you can fixate on things and have your special interests and your passions, and clearly that your races are that for you, and that really helps you and stops you getting distracted by the things around you. And have you got any advice? As you mentioned about the crowds being quite hard for you and a bit of a challenge, how do you cope with that during a race?
I always try to stay, like, on the side during a race or away from the people. So, like, when I'm racing and anybody's cheering you on, I will get away around I'll go around all the people.
She has an extreme dislike for cowbells.
And I would do
Okay.
this.
Oh, you have to put your hands
So,
over your ears.
yeah. So, like, sometimes, quad bells, like, you do and I, like, will just, like, do this, like, "Can you stop?"
Once the race starts, though, I think she's just able to zone it all out. It's like when
Yeah,
you're waiting and ready to start and you're all, then
yeah.
she doesn't like it. You see her going,
Yeah, putting your hands over your ears, and yeah, those cowbells. I mean, they're a big thing within racing because they make a lot of noise. But so it's great that you're able to block those out.
Mhm.
And so, just thinking then, Marlene, because you are such an inspiration to so many people. Even people who don't have a diagnosis, that no matter what the world throws at you, whether it is a car accident before your race, or even if you do have a diagnosis of autism, what advice would you give to somebody who might have a diagnosis? What advice would you give them to if they're thinking of getting into sporting events?
Um, like, don't never give up and don't listen to people or dollars, and just find something you're good at and believe in yourself. And never give up if you can't find it. Always try to find it and keep finding it until you find that talent in you.
And coming on to you as well, for parents, of maybe they're listening and their children are going through a diagnosis of any kind right now, what advice would you give to a parent?
What your child find that talent.
I I never pushed her, but I always, if she said she wanted to try something, I always encouraged her. And sometimes I'd be like, she'd say, I want to try a triathlon. I go, okay, and I just sort of like, but then she'd go out and prove to me that she was going down to the rec center getting people to coach her how to swim on her own. People that had been like college swimmers. So when I saw that, I'm thinking, okay, she's making an effort to try and really do this. I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. But, like getting a bicycle for a triathlon's an expensive venture.
Yeah.
I think I found the first two used, and we got one, got another one was a little more expensive, and I just kept getting better bicycles, and just enough to encourage her to see if what she was going to do with it, and then she was doing better and better, and so I was like, okay, we'll get you a better one, those kind of, so I never really went out and spent all this big money just to open it, because in case she changed her mind.
Yeah.
And but she always told me she wanted to do that, and that's what she did. I'm shocked. I never knew a thing about triathlons. Never. I did half marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks, whatever, when I was young. And there were years I did 35, 45 races a year. But I never did more than a half marathon. So, I'm a little impressed that, because she never wanted to do it when I was doing it. She thought it was stupid and never wanted to go do a 5K with me. But this will be our 16th straight year of doing a turkey trot, though.
Yes.
Oh, really? So for
Yeah.
people in the UK, what is the turkey trot?
Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
They have several races around. They call them turkey trots Thanksgiving morning. And I've been doing one now personally since 2008, I think it is.
I have a shirt, it was with a turkey on it, and then I have shorts with turkeys on it. I wear them every single turkey trot I do. I wear with a turkey shirt and a turkey shorts. And there's this brand called Chicken Legs, and they make a pair of shorts with turkeys on them, like a pair of shorts with cookies on them, chocolate milk. Anything you can think of is on the shorts. And I have multiple pairs of them.
Oh, that's so lovely that you guys you have that as your thing together and that you get to still do a race together each year.
It'll be my only race this year.
Wow.
I haven't done one, I haven't done one yet, this whole year since last Thanksgiving.
And the first race of the year you get to do with a Guinness World Record holder. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
there you go.
Yep.
So just to finish off then, other than your turkey trot, what is next for Marlynne? Have you got your sights on a next challenge and a next toughest finish line?
So my next challenge right now is the Boston Marathon. I'm hoping to do a RPR, a huge PR if I can. My biggest goal for a marathon is 3 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm hoping to do that at Boston for the T20 category for the prize money. And then Chicago. That's the next two big things coming up for me.
We haven't really settled on an Ironman or a half Ironman yet, 'cause we just got in with this one.
Yeah.
But Boston is the big one then.
Yeah.
This will be her
Oh,
second time doing Boston. She did it once before in 23.
I did Boston with a guide. This time I'm doing Boston by myself.
wow. Wow. So not only going for a PR and for the win, but doing it without a guide is just incredible, Marlynne. So
Yes.
I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for coming on and speaking with us. And if people want to follow your journey to Boston, how can they follow your journey?
You can go on to my Instagram, fishy space special space Olympics is my Instagram name, and you can follow my journey on me,
Your Facebook is Marfish.
Marfus Stutzman, and it's incredible how I got this award.
Yeah, I mean, hold it up for the camera, and I will put that picture up on our socials.
You show them one of
Because
your business cards.
Yeah.
You got a card made up with her logo on it and stuff with her fish.
So this is my logo. It's a fish, and it tells you a little about me.
Great. We will get that shared for you, Marlynne, because I'm very sure that lots and lots of people will want to follow your journey to Boston and beyond to see where you go next. But Todd and Marlynne, thank you so much for coming
Well,
on
thank you.
today. It's been so inspiring, and yeah, it's definitely motivated me. I'm going to write "Believe" on my arm on my next race to keep me going. So thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.